I don't care if you're 20. I don't care if you're 30. I don't care if you're 80. I don't care if you're 200. Our emotional traumas, damages, dead places, depletions, they cannot handle.
Yes.
We want them to understand our emotional dead places, depletions, and damages when we don't understand it ourselves.
Yes.
We want to dump all of that on them so they can respond correctly to make us feel better about ourselves, when that's the stuff that we have to come into healing ourselves in order to be who God made us to be, to get them to be able to understand and not just hear what we're saying, but hear what we don't say.
Hey there, I'm Ari, your petite but powerful Kingdom teaching professor and entrepreneur. I bring the sass, the laughs, and the serious, let's get real and heal moments without any filters. Now meet my mom, Pastor Dee, the #1 dunamis woman leading our Healing for My Soul movement. As a Kingdom teaching pastor and life coach, she is unapologetically real, raw, and radical, but she's our rock and the voice of wisdom that we all need. And then there's Allison, fierce yet tender, and the voice for many single mothers. She's the silent heartbeat of our family and will be the first to tell you, yeah, life with these two can be crazy, but I got their back and we're in this together. As a dynamic trio, we spearhead the Healing for My Soul movement, sharing the miraculous healing power of God through our journey, truths, and a little humor as we guide women to pursue healing as a lifestyle so they may experience freedom within their life and legacy.
Welcome to another episode of Healing for My Soul podcast. Well, it's getting gooder and gooder, better and better, and more healer and more healer.
What?
Because he is a healer. He is a healer. I thought that'd catch you off guard. Yes. But we have some more talk, particularly about emotional healing, because we want to talk about the evidence.
Yeah.
The evidence in emotional healing. We do a lot, Ariel. We do a lot at Dunamis Woman. Dunamis Woman, we have a lot going on, but it all stems from healing.
Yeah.
We're not doing things just to be doing it. It all works together. It all comes out in a way that's miraculous. But at the end of the day, it is all first stemming from healing.
Yeah.
You know, women who come forth at every last one of our healing challenges, but once they come closer, once they draw closer, particularly at our Dunamis Woman University, they understand the heartbeat of Dunamis Woman. And the heartbeat is man.
Yeah.
Man, no woman has probably come to our healing challenge unless it was connected with some man in her life, whether it's her husband, whether it was a lover, whether it was a son, because we came out of man. But the vision ultimately, and I don't even talk about this much because women be like, oh, you know, is to spiritually birth our real men, the men, you know, they were birthed naturally from the womb of a powerful woman, whether she was hurting or not. But at the end of the day, we have to birth them spiritually.
Yeah.
But we have to be healed. So over the years, over the decades, we see evidence. We see the evidence of our faith. We talk about it from a scriptural standpoint, just basically quoting it. Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. But I don't know if we really know how to apply that.
Yeah.
How to apply it to see true evidence. Because for me, if it ain't souls, it's not no evidence.
Yeah. And, you know, I remember when you said that to me, even in my, you know, unmarried season, and you're like, Ariel, you have to spiritually birth your husband. And
in
I
your
was
unmarried
like,
season, did you get married or something? Did something happen that I know
I'm still
about?
in my unmarried season.
In my unmarried season.
I'm in it.
Negro,
Right?
still in
In
it.
my unmarried season, which is still here. But you always say you have to spiritually birth your husband. And that if you were to say that to many single women right now, they would look at you like you were crazy because he's supposed to just come right, ready, supposed to be able to receive me as a woman, and I don't have to do anything, right?
Correct.
And so you were like, in this day and age, you have to literally spiritually birth him. And that's where you're talking about, and I'm using relationships, some aspect, because we're talking about men and the heartbeat. But that's where the evidence is.
That's where the evidence is.
The evidence is because at the end of the day, what is it for me to just sit back and just say, oh, well, I just deserve to have this godly kingdom man? And really, where's the evidence of my faith? Where's the evidence of my pursuit of healing? Where's the evidence of really having this man that I really require as a woman because of who I am and what I've been through? And I really believe that the women who grab hold to that, even though a lot of women will run away from you saying that, but the women who grab hold to pursuing healing, they are now seeing the evidence of what they truly did desire.
And we're seeing the evidence. At first, initially, even me saying, pray for our men. When you are hurt, you will say, I ain't praying for him.
Yeah.
I ain't praying for him. I mean, I got a lot of that. I've facilitated emotional healing clinics with, and not only that, but marital healing clinics back in the day. And the woman would get up and with her nose tooted up when the man sitting right there. And it's like, I ain't praying for him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's pain. You know, that's some deep rooted pain. But you made mention about in this day and hour, how do you think men got here in the days of old?
Yeah.
Women were moaning and groaning and wailing and travailing for their husbands, for their sons, you know, because of the pain and the victimization. That's all we had was a moan and groan. But at the end of the day, we didn't have all this material gain. We didn't have all these things to cloud our faith. The faith was, the evidence of their faith was in their moan and their groan, because that's all they had. Can you imagine someone just really brutalizing your husband or taking your son away from you, and you can't say anything? You can't do nothing but go into a moan and a groan and a travail.
Yeah.
Things have not changed. The essence of it has not changed. So that is a spiritual birthing. But we don't have a moan no more. When is the last time you heard a woman wail and moan besides myself?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When have you heard a woman, a young lady in your generation?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wail and moan.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to accept that pain is the pain for change to take place when you're healed.
Yeah. And that's why I always say that, and people may think that I'm wrong when I say this, and I stand on it, but I do not believe that it's a man's responsibility to help you heal. I do believe that we have to see our own self, our own power. Now, does that mean that a man's presence doesn't bring more security to me? Doesn't help me understand, you know, who I am and bring more confidence? But I believe that oftentimes in this day, we take our brokenness into relationships and we tell men, this is my past, this is my trauma, this is my pain. I've been raped, I've been molested, I didn't have a father, I've been abandoned. And it's your responsibility now to help mold me into who I'm supposed to be. And many men do it. And they still don't see the manifestation because the woman is broken, because she does not want to put in any level of work. And I do believe that when you put in some level of work of your own healing, you now contribute healthily to this man that is broken in some aspects as well, that you may not have been able to see because you're only seeing your own self, your own pain, your things that you're going through. Hey, you have been watching the Healing for My Soul podcast, but guess what? We want to see you live in person. Not only is this a movement, but we are hosting our Healing for My Soul live
in 2025.
Yes.
So you got time to prepare to join us in person, you all, because it's going to go down. Ariel, tell them a little bit more.
All you got to do is go to that link down below, www.healingformysoullive.com, and get registered. Bring your friends, your church friends, your family, whoever you want to bring to this Healing for My Soul live event, because it's going to be amazing.
And guess what? Men are invited too. So you don't have to roll alone. Yeah. If you breathing and you're a human being, join us live in 2025. Well, what your generation may experience and believe, I will never come into agreement with that, because it's some shallow, watered down shit. And I'm just saying that. You all don't believe in doing the work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know that, but it's not about molding. Your generation wants someone to overcompensate.
Yeah.
For what someone else did not do.
Right.
And your victimizations in this era of time, and it's not just your generation, it's older folks too, but predominantly, the more we birth kids, the more we have an expectancy that you're supposed to have what I had to moan for, what I had to work for, what I had to believe for. You know what I'm saying? Even in Hebrews 11:2, it says the elders died in faith believing. You know, you all don't believe that I'm carrying the mantle of what a woman believed for, but did not see the manifestation. You see what I'm saying? Women in Dunamis Woman are carrying the mantle of what another woman of our ancestors died for believing. Because if it's not about souls, it's not about anything. But at the end of the day, no man could ever give birth. I don't care what you call yourself. I don't care. I really don't care. You do not have a womb to literally give birth. You know what I'm saying? So he made us in the natural, so it is in the spiritual. So there is now a level of what I have to give to Christ in order to get my healing in a manner of what I need. I believe I have to take the necessary step to say I need emotional healing, only to be able to spiritually birth, to see the evidence of my faith, so he can give me what I require.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what one man hurt, another man has to heal.
Yeah.
I don't need no woman bringing healing to me.
Yeah.
That's why we have identity confusions, because you're healing the same sex.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't expect him to just take my stuff and I don't do nothing.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying when I say it's not a man's responsibility, because I think people don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And then it's like, take my stuff. But like you have told me, Ariel, some stuff only a man can heal, because where a man hurt, there's another man that
But
heal.
just like we said on the other episode, when I was talking to Jimmy, if you're hurt, he's hurt.
Yeah.
The man God has for you, I keep telling you, he's hurting. Mm-hmm. However, you can't expect him to come and just see you for who you are without you having to put in the work of your faith to birth him based upon God heal his pain, heal his heart. And you're contributing to a lot of his healing, just like he contributed to yours. But at least he has to first see you. But your spiritual lazy self.
I beg to differ.
I want you
Okay, well, I'll take spiritual lazy from you. But for the most of the generation, I ain't that spiritual
I'm
lazy.
talking to you.
Okay, I'll take it from you. I'll take this
nobody else is on this episode but you and I. What or what?
Okay. Save my pause.
Your spiritually lazy self. You do spiritual work. Don't get me wrong. You are a dynamic kingdom professor. You are a dynamic speaker. You are a dynamic teacher. I want you to become a dynamic spiritual prayer warrior who can wake up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, might not even sleep.
But see, I think that's the thing though. Like,
you didn't hear what I said?
No, not for real.
No,
you
for real.
You could say it's for you in the position that you're in. Mm-hmm. You can say spiritual lazy because you put in that work.
That's right.
But for me, and I'm speaking for some of the other women that are out there, where you haven't been taught and exposed, you just don't know.
And that's why.
And so
what's your excuse?
There's some levels that you haven't taught.
What's your excuse? But what you do know.
Well, so let me see this. Okay, so could I on my own, right, get up, be obedient at 3, 4 a.m. in the morning? I have learned on my own. Absolutely, yes. I think part of that has also been wanting you to teach, because you be like, Ariel, we can couple together. And I'm like, okay. But then like you tell other women, that's your man sitting at home.
No,
I'm not going to get up.
What I'm saying is you have to, what healing does, particularly emotional healing, and I'm not, everybody got to grow.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking that.
Yes.
I had to grow. Mm-hmm. I had to grow by having not just spiritual impartation, but being obedient to what things that I didn't even understand through my spiritual mothers, which gives me not only the affordability, but the opportunity to be able to do what I'm doing with you all at a Mirror of Women and Dunamis Woman. Now, all of those are my spiritual daughters. You're my biological. You were born into leadership. You were born into an atmosphere of wailing. You were born into an atmosphere of crying out. You were born, just like you and Alice say, oh, she called my name. Let me turn around and go back to sleep. I think you still could be stuck on that now.
But that's different. I'll let you finish. I'll pause.
I'm speaking. Thank you so very much. However, you're mature now, based upon even being on this podcast, having emotional healing podcast, speaking about it, that much is given now as much is required. There is someone, the evidence of your faith, that is waiting for you, for him to come forth.
Yeah.
For him to come forth, and not just because, put a ring on my finger and marry me, but to come forth and take his occupancy in the kingdom, to come forth and say, I am a real authoritative man, that God has a leadership mantle on my life, that you see the evidence of the faith in emotional healing, that I'm not letting go until I see Lazarus.
Yeah.
Come forth, come out of his dead clothes, come out of his dry clothes, come out to be what he never thought he could be.
Yeah. And the reason why
let the church say amen. Put in the comment,
don't
amen.
Y'all put that in the comments. Okay.
Amen.
Because the thing is that, okay, so let me say this. It's not an excuse, but let me say this. You can hear someone who prays, who, cries out, who moans and groans. You can hear that, but it is hard when you have to battle stepping into that, and you still have your abandonment, and you still have the
Yes,
things that you're
that-
feeling
now
within
that
your
is the
soul.
truth. That is
so
the truth.
just because you've heard the impartation, now that you got to actually take up your own mantle, that's still a process within your own soul that you got to posture and position yourself to do. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's not easy I don't think it's easy for anyone, but the women who have seen the evidence of their healing had to go through that. And for me, I think at the same time, I'm learning what that process is. I think I'll get some small wins. Okay. You know, like they step into the conference, just bought a ticket.
See, I wasn't going to make this really about you. I was going to go into another vein.
We're talking about the men.
And I'm going to stay in that vein, but I'm going to tell you, you do have some small wins until you get pissed off. You do have some small wins until they say something stupid, you know what I'm saying? And you give up. The whole point of when you're birthing, see, you haven't birthed a child yet. Thank you, God, for the 5 grandsons that I'm going to have through her womb.
Happening.
However, when you are birthing a child, I don't care how painful it get, you can't give up.
Yeah.
I don't care how, you don't even know the length and the hours. That's the beautiful part, but also the aggravating part. I don't know how long this gonna take.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. You were 5 hours of labor. Allison was 2.5, well, maybe 5, but 2.5 hours. I mean, it was just an intense pain. But some women are 36 hours. Contraction after contraction. In the spirit realm, that it feels like 1,000 years.
Hey, listeners, did you know that you can actually watch this Healing for My Soul podcast on your big screen TV? Yes, your TV. All you have to do is go to Dunamis Woman TV Network, add it to your Roku TV, Amazon TV. You can even download the app and watch the episodes. And while you're there, become a Dunamis Woman Insider. You get inside scoop behind the episodes. You also get access to all of our Healing for My Soul challenges once you become an insider. So go to DunamisWomanTV.com or just download the app Dunamis Woman TV Network to your phone and to your TV, and you'll see how you can get the TV network and watch it on the big screen.
Okay, so since we're gonna be transparent, okay, I might as well be transparent because I do believe that you can course correct when things are difficult, right? Where you
What's
mess
course
up.
correct?
Course correct is like where I know that
test over again.
Not take it over again. It's just like I know because of my healing, because of my maturity, I may have, like you said, I may slip up or I may mess up, but I course correct. I try to bring things back into order.
You're very good at that.
And so transparently, the reason I'm saying transparent is because what you're talking about, and this is the evidence, and I want all y'all to see this, especially if you're in our Dunamis Woman University, right? Because you're talking about how men now are at the conference, the real authoritative men, they're standing with their Dunamis Woman. They're the men that betrayed them, the men that brought them to Dunamis Woman to healing, the men that may have not understood who their mother was or has caused some level of pain. And now they're seeing their young sons, their fathers, their husbands, their brothers standing up in their authority because of their obedience to pursue healing.
And they are actually in our universities seeing the transformation that's happening in their mother or in their wife or in their sister. However, Dunamis Women have a higher tier, which is called our Dunamis Coaching Institute. And those are the women who, I could just speak of one, that's in mind, that got up with myself every morning with a conglomerate of women at 5 a.m. sharp, warring and praying and wailing for the soul of her husband after 30-something years. And the evidence is right there.
Yeah.
When he said, I'm out, I want a divorce, he with other women, he ain't coming home. But she's following instructions. See, a lot of part of healing is that you can follow instructions even when you don't feel it.
Yeah.
When you don't feel like it. Even when you say, I got to do that again. Just follow instructions.
Yeah.
See, this generation or people or era of time, I only want to say generation, era of time, everybody got the instructions.
But I did. So this is evidence of my healing though. You got to listen.
Come on.
Okay.
Let me find out.
We've seen the manifestation of these other men.
I'm ready to see the manifestation of you.
What?
I'm ready to see the manifestation of you.
What does that mean?
I'm ready to see the manifestation of you wailing to birth who you supposed to have in your life, the evidence of your emotional healing. I'm ready to see you birth that husband. I'm ready to see you birth his destiny. I'm ready to see you birth.
Okay, but we got to be transparent with the people. Okay? Because,
Go for it.
oh, no, because, okay, so
what you're talking about in particular is what now 12 years of a slave. 12 years of a friendship. Not a situationship, not a sex ship, not a we hugging, kissing, just strictly platonic friendship, okay?
In love
friendship. Brown sugar, whatever you want to call it. But 12 years a slave for me, okay? I've been 12 years single, it's been 12 years slave. Now, in that, right, has been some hurt, has been some betrayal, has been seeing this man go be with another woman, marry her, propose to her, not marry, but seeing a lot of stuff, being with that person in their broken places of their life, helping them get back on their feet all over again, then getting abandoned, then getting lied to. I mean, it's hard being a friend out here in these streets.
It's hard being out of pimp too.
It's hard. And so for me, there was a time where I was praying. I was trying to get rejuvenated. I was trying to find my own strength. And when you get hit after hit after hit, I was just weak.
And you are.
I mean, because there's only so much you could take.
Okay, by yourself.
Yes,
okay.
I get that.
And even when I was there, and also other women and
other women were there, yes.
Boy, you get pissed off and you be like, I ain't getting back up.
No, that was back in the day. We're not gonna bring up the past.
Okay, let's go. Let's move forward.
Because I will get pissed off.
So we're now on this Healing for My Soul podcast.
So now that we're here,
we are going out to the public, and we are here live, and we want to see the emotional evidence of your faith. I want to see the emotional evidence in your faith. I want to see the evidence in your emotional healing. Yours, mine. We all have more.
Yeah.
Much is given, much is required. I'm speaking to myself too, because at the end of the day, if it ain't one soul, it's another soul. It's another soul. It's another soul. It's easy for me to birth nephew. It's easy for me to birth brother. It's easy for me. But when that man pisses you off, you got to still, that's when the evidence is there.
And that's what recently happened. And I was more mature. Not maybe right away, right? But when I did get irritated and
frustrated,
cut him off, rightfully so.
Didn't talk to him no more.
No, that wasn't that recent.
Okay, go ahead.
But what I am saying is, when I necessarily went to that place to visit and surprise, right? And I never made it to the state to surprise him, and I had to sleep in the airport. And I was frustrated because he didn't pick up the phone and say, hey, do you need anything to check on me? And as a woman, as a standard, I'm not lowering on that standard. I think that's important. But you did tell me how you reacted and how you responded probably wasn't the best way and the best manner.
Because I'm here to tell you, I don't care if you're 20, I don't care if you're 30, I don't care if you're 80, I don't care if you're 200. Our emotional traumas, damages, dead places, depletions, they cannot handle. Yes. We want them to understand our emotional dead places, depletions, and damages when we don't understand it ourselves. Yes. We want to dump all of that on them so they can respond correctly to make us feel better about ourselves, when that's the stuff that we have to come into healing ourselves in order to be who God made us to be, to get them to be able to understand and not just hear what we're saying, but hear what we don't say. Yeah. That's the beautiful part.
And that's why I was saying I feel like I had a little win, because I did say what I really didn't say, or what I said, whatever you just said. I can't repeat it back. But all in all, I said, look, you may have thought I was overdramatic to ask for you to call to check on me, which as a woman, I think is very important. I said, but I want you to understand that as a man, I see your value, and I value your presence, and I value hearing your voice, and I value you even understanding the importance of you speaking into my life, or just knowing that I'm okay. Now, I didn't say this, but if that person doesn't see that value for themselves, great. But I did let them know, like, that is important for me, right? Yes. And so for me, it was silence. It was no words. It was no, I don't have anything to say. It was no rebuttal. It was just complete silence.
Because they don't know how to. That was a good response after I got you to the place where you probably could respond that way.
Yeah, and then he bought his ticket for the conference. See,
there you go. So I had to shift the ship.
A little win.
Everybody put shift the ship, because you was on the ship going that way. We had to bring the ship back to the evidence of your emotional healing. We had to bring it back so now you can respond out of your wholeness and not out of your damages. It's okay. Every woman needs a woman. Every daughter needs a mother. Mm-hmm. The evidence in the emotional healing is of what we see with the real authoritative men, the men coming to the conference, the men that are in my class, real authoritative men that I teach from a kingdom perspective, is because of the evidence of spiritual daughters following instructions. Because when the ship wanted to go that way to sail, I had to help guide them and gear them to know how to respond, just like with you. Mm-hmm. Now you see the evidence. He's got the ticket. Now you see the evidence. That part that you stated, he don't know how to respond to that, because women don't respond to that damage. They respond healed. They don't know how to respond to the healed part. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to make them silent. It's supposed to keep them quiet. Matter of fact, what else should he say? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He got to, when you are speaking out of your wholeness and out of your healing, it keeps them to a place where they're not silent because they're dumb. They're processing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A dunamis woman, a woman who is experiencing healing on a constant basis and understanding how to ignite that power by executing accordingly, it keeps him at a state where he had to process you, to understand you, to know how to love you, because it's a rarity. Mm-hmm. Anybody can cuss. Anybody can tell you what to do. Anybody could demand it. Anybody could just give you some pussy so they could give you some peace. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you put something in his heart. You put something in his heart, because if we're hurting, they're hurting. And the reason why men are mostly hurting is because they have not had a proper foundation laid by their mother. Mm-hmm. We can have a foundation laid, but it's intricate and critical that they have a proper foundation. How do you think Jesus ended up doing the will of his Father? Because he had a proper foundation laid by Mary. She's the first woman who taught him. She's the first person who laid the foundation in his soul. Mm-hmm. Now, what is we as doing as women? We got to work. We got to do this. We got to put them off to the daycare, or either grandmama raise them or somebody else. When you have heard the sound and a voice of a woman who nurtured you in the womb, you need her nurture when you come out. That's the first voice. Mm-hmm. That's the first heartbeat. That's the first foundation. So we're getting a lot of the brunt of what mama did not do. I got one 60 years old getting the brunt of what mama did not do, and she in the grave. Does that make sense? But I know how to respond.
Yeah, yeah.
It seems crazy, but you got to get to the pain to get to the promise. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got to know how to tend to the pain to know how to see the promise. That's the evidence in emotional healing. We're not here just to say, I need a healing for my soul, just to say I need a healing for my soul. Mm-hmm. Christ died for souls. He didn't die for you to get a car. He didn't die for you to get a house. He didn't die for you to have this big, wonderful 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure, 10-figure business. If you have that, what are you doing with it? To win souls. Mm-hmm. We are here to win souls, and only way we could do it is that we see the evidence, but first the emotional healing got to take place in us. Where is it going to go to? Not only just our daughters, not only just our sons, but also the men that are in our lives. Hey, you all, I know you've been enjoying these episodes. I know you've been enjoying this podcast. So what I need you to do, I need you to like, I need you to comment, and most of all, I need you to subscribe. That is going to keep you connected with us. That's going to keep me connected with you. That's going to keep us on the same Healing for My Soul movement. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Well, enough of that. Let's get it going, and let's get back to this episode.
Yeah. Well, I accept your charge.
I'll see you at 5 a.m. in the morning on the flow.
Tomorrow morning? That's a little intense, you know. But I do take your charge, mm-hmm. because you can't go this far and give up now.
You can't. You can't.
And I think that that's one thing I've seen in the women who have stayed faithful to their healing is you come too far to give up now. And
that's what I tell them.
The evidence.
I said, after 30-something years, you finna walk away, you're a fool.
Yeah.
You finna let another woman come and get all the work that you put in for him to give it to somebody else. 12 years ain't nothing. 20 years is nothing.
Yeah.
30 years ain't nothing. You finna give 40 years up for somebody to just come and take now the goods and the evidence of your emotional healing. Well, there you have it. We want to see the evidence in your emotional healing, because the evidence is according to your faith, and faith is going to bring about more souls for the kingdom of God. This is why we have a Healing for My Soul movement. Ariel, I'll see you on the flow in the AM.
I'll be there. I'll be there.